In October, I was sponsored by Shell to attend Changemakers of Tomorrow in Bangalore. At this conference, I got the opportunity to interview the CTO of Shell as well as interact with various executives in the energy industry to talk about the projects they were implementing in energy. After the conference, I researched into how AI can be used to solve problems in supply chain for Shell. And this video will walk us through the research that has gone into designing the AI-powered supplier risk management platform. The main challenges being faced today by the oil and gas supply chains are volatile costs and labor and material shortages. Both these challenges can be mitigated through an in-depth supplier risk assessment because essentially a supply chain is made up of suppliers, and understanding the risks associated with each component of the supply chain can help in making better strategic decisions. In 2022, Shell spent $41.5 billion on goods and services from 24,000 suppliers globally. According to McKinsey, oil and gas supply chains can save up to 15% of costs if they're successfully able to mitigate supply chain risks. This amounts to $6.15 billion for Shell. Moreover, understanding the environmental risks of suppliers can also help in reducing emissions, which aligns with the net zero by 2050 goal of Shell. Supply chains are responsible for 60% of the world's emissions, but using digital technologies in manufacturing can reduce emissions by 20%. But if we look at current third-party supplier risk management platforms such as IBM Open Pages and Audit Board, the problem is that they're narrow in terms of their risk assessments, as they only depend on internal financial and logistics data. They fail to understand the holistic market risk on the supplier level. These risks also are based on limited visibility into the suppliers, which hinders the decision-making process. The other solutions in this space only measure the cyber attack risks. We can use risk assessments from companies such as Reuters, but they fail to give detailed information on location specific suppliers. To overcome these problems, I have designed an AI powered supplier risk management platform that can help increase visibility into supplier risks by assessing the market risks. They haven't We haven't been able to quantify market risks up till now, but using machine learning algorithms, we are able to achieve that. And we can integrate that with internal data to uncover hidden risks to reduce information asymmetry. In the next slides, I will go deeper into how these machine learning algorithms work and how they're integrated into the platform. AI offers an opportunity to find hidden patterns and risks across a breadth of data, making supply chains more resilient. AI-powered supply chains are now 67 more efficient than traditional supply chains that do not use AI. Currently, the main software being used at Shell to manage suppliers is SAP Ariba and Shell Supplier Sphere. SAP Ariba does offer basic risk management features, but they are too narrow. And the Shell Supplier Sphere contains data on end-to-end supplier relationship, lifecycle, and performance management. We can use the internal data from these platforms as the foundation of this new risk management platform. To manage supply chain risks, there are three main steps. First, we need to analyze internal risks on a supplier level. So for this, we can use the internal data from existing platforms and also leverage the existing work being done on Bayesian networks at Shell to calculate production risk. Through this, we can leverage the existing resources to get an in-depth internal risk assessment of these suppliers. The next steps include assessing the exposure to market inflation and other types of risks. For this, we use natural language processing or NLP, and we can also find hidden risks with graph neural networks. I will go deeper into how these work in the next slides. The third and final step is generating risk mitigation levers. So basically using the same algorithms we used in the previous step to solve optimization problems in supply chain. So understanding how can we optimize the supply chain to achieve our strategic goals. Now let's go deep into how these algorithms work. So the first is natural language processing, which is used to assess the market risk overall. So we can take the unstructured data that's available publicly, like business press, social media, and customer feedback, and combine it with structured public databases. Uh, and then combine it with the company internal data to build a holistic risk assessment picture for us. So the state of the art NLP algorithms can help in concept extraction, relation extraction, similarity search, and sentiment analysis, among other features. The NLP, it firstly increases visibility by broadening the scope of the risks we're measuring. It reduces the delay in reporting disruptions because half of it is based on external public data, such as news articles and social media, which are updated in real time. And it also reduces information asymmetry. The other algorithm we're using are called graph neural networks, or GNNs. GNNs are very useful for predicting relationships between nodes, and this can help us in finding systemic risks such as financial fraud detection. We can represent all the suppliers as nodes, and the graph neural networks can then help us in predicting these hidden risks. This graph neural network can also be improved by feeding in the external risks calculated by natural language processing as embeddings, and they can help find relations between that as well. By adding knowledge graph reasoning, we can make this model even stronger at predicting hidden risks and relationships. So this can help us in finding hidden risks, and also this also helps in reducing information asymmetry. Let's dive deep into the model itself. So this is the supplier risk dashboard, and here we can see so this gives us the information about suppliers at a glance. And we can also visualize the number of suppliers by across the globe, by country, by supplier based on their risk scores. So understanding how various suppliers with different risk scores are interconnected. And we can also customize how we're visualizing this by a number of key metrics. The core feature of this platform comes under the supplier analysis part. So in this, uh, we can analyze the various risks associated with each supplier, and these risks are divided into two main categories, that's internal and external. So internal is dependent on the internal financial data and stakeholder and logistics report that Shell would provide, and this can be used to calculate various types of risks, such as solvency risk, liquidity risk, quality risk, such as like how likely is the supplier to supply damaged goods, or schedule risk, like how likely is it to send goods after some delays. The key feature of this is also that we can customize the risk assessments in our risk analysis. So, according to Shell's priority, we can decide which risks are more imminent based on which locations. So, this modular approach can make the risk assessment very customizable. The other types of risks are external supplier risks, which are sourced from the business press, social media, consumer feedback, and they're updated in real time as the social media posts are analyzed. So the main risks in this category are geopolitical, ESG risk, compliance risk, and climate risk. You can also assign a certain risk assessment to team in case you want to delegate tasks or decision making about a certain supplier. Here we can find the overall risk score. So this is based on all the types of risks that are calculated. And we can even understand how this particular supplier is connected to other suppliers based on their risk levels. So for example, this particular supplier is connected to 4 high risk, 7 medium risk, and nine low risk tier 2 suppliers. So, and we can also, because of the continuous risk monitoring that would be conducted, we can also find the trends in changes in the change in risk. So, is it increasing since the last month, and what's the trend of risk changed in the last 6 months. We can also view it in the supplier map. And then because the external risks are being calculated from the web, we can also source some particular headlines or highlights based on the sentiment analysis that might be important for decision making. And in the same place, we can also conduct some action steps. So we can conduct awareness training for suppliers to make them aware of the various risks that we have monitored. We can conduct supplier engagement practices. We can also send customized questionnaires in case we want to request some particular data to verify certain risks. And we can also mark a supplier as a red flag. The other part of the dashboard comes in supplier risk recommendations. So here we can chat with the chatbot to understand how can we optimize a particular situation in the supply chain. So if I want to minimize supplier risk in Bangalore, what are the best strategies? What are the highlights in the imminent risks that we have calculated? So this is where you can communicate with the risk assessments reports almost to understand how can we take this forward. So because this compiles all the risk data that has been calculated, we can also at a glance understand which suppliers are the highest risk factors based on absolute risk. So based on the risk scores, which are the highest risk suppliers, and based on relative risk. So basically understanding how is this particular supplier connected to other suppliers, and then calculating the aggregate risk associated to each supplier. And this also sources the top headlines about market risks that we should be aware about. And here we can download the recommendations that this chatbot would generate, as well as connect with risk consultants. So this tool is obviously not going to replace the role of experts and decision makers in the process, but it would give a very good foundation of understanding the various risk factors in making further decisions. And here you can also see the past project reports that have been generated from this recommendation algorithm. And the one more key feature of this is that you can also review the decisions log. So based on the recommendations, if any decisions have been conducted by uh, any department inside the company, you can review that. The benefit of this is that it can uh, streamline decision making by uh, collecting all the supplier risk related data in one platform, so that there is no wastage of time between communication between various departments. If And there's also increased visibility about what other departments have decided in supply chain related decisions. This recommendation tool is designed using the Optimus architecture. So this is a new architecture that has been released by Stanford recently, and that uses the same algorithm that I proposed earlier, natural language processing. So it uses large language models to formulate the optimization problem. So in supply chain, understanding we can optimize it because they are very flexible with language, they can formulate it easily, and also this can also generate the code for calculating these optimization problems. I talked to the PhD scholar at Stanford who built this algorithm about potential use cases in supply chains. This tool can help in decision making. So, strategic, operational, and tactical decision making can be improved using the recommendations tool. So, the main competitor that we have for this current platform is Prewave, which uses external public data to generate risk alerts. However, there are a few limitations with this platform as well. So the risk alerts and recommendation platform only monitor the risks from external sources, and they're not fully integrated with the internal supplier data. And it wouldn't help in tracking the various decisions being made by other departments. So it also doesn't offer the capability to modify risk assessments according to Shell's priorities. And it is another third party provider. So this would mean sharing the sensitive data with third parties, increasing the risk of security breaches. So the key benefits of the proposed platform is that it's simple because it uses only a few key machine learning algorithms. And because it's simple, it's also scalable across various departments. The risk assessments are modular in nature, so they can be customized. And it employs graph neural networks to find hidden risks. And it has features in place to request specific additional data from suppliers through questionnaires. Um, and because it can find hidden risk and through combining internal and external data, it can help form a holistic risk assessment picture. And it compiles all the tools for making supplier related decisions in one place to improve coordination and also increase the pace with which decisions are made related to supply chains. My next steps include validating the machine learning algorithms with machine learning experts and also working on adding more data visualization features to aid decision making. Uh, Steven, the CEO of Streambar, has also been quite interested in the development of the platform and is open to offering an internship to explore how this platform can be implemented. Um, I'm also very open to implementing feedback on how this can be modified further to fit and enhance current workflows at Shell. And we can also leverage existing data partners such as IBM because of their experience with IBM Open Pages to work on the data infrastructure as well. I would like to thank my mentors at Shell who have helped me through giving their unique insights in the development of this platform. So, special thank you to Saptarshi Das, Karina Fernandez, Rishabh Chopra, Stephen Calder, and Francesco Melandri for their amazing insights and support. Please let me know if you have any thoughts on how this can be improved further, and I would love to have a chat about that. Thank you so much for your time.